What is modern Buddha? Timeless wisdom for today. Section 1. The first turning of the wheel. Dhammaka Kapavatana Sutta. SN 56.11. Have you ever noticed how stress doesn't just come from big crises, but from small everyday moments? Like waiting for a reply to a message, or when your Wi-Fi suddenly drops during an important meeting. A friend once told me she felt incredible relief after paying off a loan. But only a week later, a new worry appeared, her job security. That's the cycle the Buddha was pointing to. After his awakening, the Buddha didn't rush to announce his discovery. He quietly sought out 5 old companions. And in a deer park in Sarnath, he gave his very first teaching. It's called the Dhammaka Kapavatana Sutta, setting the wheel of Dhamma in motion. He spoke of 4 truths, 4 simple but profound observations about life. The first truth, dukkha. Life carries stress and dissatisfaction. That tightness in the chest when deadlines pile up. That ache of loneliness when a relationship ends. That restless scrolling at midnight, searching for something to fill the gap. This is dukkha, not because life is bad, but because the mind clings. The second truth, the origin of dukkha. Stress comes from craving, craving for things to be different, craving for pleasure, recognition, certainty. But the moment we grasp, we also fear losing, and in that grasping, stress arises. The third truth, the cessation of dukkha. Here's the hope. The Buddha said this suffering can end. Just as a fire goes out when the fuel is gone, stress fades when craving ceases. Think of the last time you let go of an old grudge. Remember the relief? That's a glimpse of the third truth. The fourth truth, the path. The Buddha didn't just describe the problem, he offered a way forward. The noble eightfold path. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Not commandments, but a way of training, step by step. Imagine those 5 companions hearing this. They were weary seekers, confused by suffering. And here was the Buddha calmly saying, yes, life has stress, but here is the cause, and here is the way out. For them, it was like a light switched on in a dark room. And maybe, for us, it can be too. Practice for today. When stress arises, whether from an email, a tantrum, or in traffic, pause. Ask yourself, what am I craving right now? What am I clinging to? For this week, try labeling your stress moments as first truth moments. Say to yourself, this is dukkha. Then breathe and ask, what am I holding on to? That gentle noticing is already the beginning of freedom. Section 2. Seeing clearly the nature of non-self. Anatalakha Sutta, SN 22.59. Have you ever had the thought, I wish I could just be myself? But what if the very idea of a fixed self is what makes life harder than it needs to be? Soon after his first teaching, the Buddha gathered the same 5 companions. This time, he spoke about something even more radical, the nature of non-self. It's called the Anatalakha Sutta, the discourse on the characteristic of non-self. He asked them to look closely at what we usually call me and mine, the body, skin, bones, muscles, feelings, pleasure, pain, neutrality, perceptions, thoughts, memories, even our awareness itself. Then he asked, are these permanent? Can you command them to stay? Are they really yours? The answer, of course, was no. The body ages. Feelings come and go. Thoughts rise and fade. Even consciousness shifts, sometimes sharp, sometimes dull, sometimes gone in deep sleep. The Buddha's point was simple but powerful. If these things are impermanent, stressful when clung to, and not under our control, how could they be a self? This is challenging, isn't it? We grow up being told, be yourself, love yourself, find yourself. So to hear the Buddha say, there is no permanent self can feel strange. But think about it like this. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. That's what happens when we cling to a fixed identity. In truth, you're not the same person you were 5 years ago. Not the same thoughts, not the same feelings, not even the same body cells. Everything changes. Everything flows. And here's the freedom. If there's no fixed me to defend, then criticism doesn't hurt as much. If there's no rigid identity to protect, then failure doesn't crush us. If I am not a fixed thing, then every moment is a new chance to grow, soften, and awaken. A modern example. Imagine being in a heated argument. Someone says, "You're always so careless." Normally, the ego flares. "How dare you say that about me?" But if you pause, breathe, and remember, this me they speak of is just a flowing river of habits and conditions, suddenly there's space. Their words sting less. You see more clearly. Practice for today. When someone criticizes you, or when your inner critic shows up, quietly say, "This is not mine. This is not me. This is not myself." Notice how it loosens the grip of ego. The Buddha's teaching on non-self is not about denying our existence. It is about freeing us from clinging to what constantly changes. And that freedom makes life lighter, kinder, and more flexible. That is the gift of seeing clearly. Section 3. The Power of Loving Kindness. Metta Sutta, DN 31. Have you noticed how easy it is to harden the heart in daily life? At work, we get annoyed by colleagues. On the road, we snap when someone cuts us off. Online, we see opinions we dislike, and bitterness grows. The Buddha knew this too. That's why he taught not only wisdom for the mind, but also compassion for the heart. One of his most beautiful teachings is the Metta Sutta, the discourse on loving kindness. He said, "Just as a mother would protect her only child with her life, even so should one cultivate a boundless heart of loving kindness for all beings." Think of that. Imagine the care a mother gives her newborn, the sleepless nights, the natural wish. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be well. Now imagine expanding that feeling beyond family, beyond friends, to strangers, to difficult people, even to those who hurt you. That is metta. Boundless loving kindness. Here's a modern example. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. Instead of muttering curses, you pause and silently say, "May all drivers be safe. May all beings be at peace." Or picture a difficult colleague. Instead of rehearsing sharp comebacks, you breathe and think, "May you be free from suffering. May you be happy." At first, it feels fake, forced, but with practice, the heart softens, the knots loosen, and you discover kindness is not just a gift to others, it is medicine for your own stress. The Buddha taught loving kindness as an antidote to anger, fear, and loneliness. And modern science agrees. Studies show that metta meditation reduces anxiety, increases compassion, and even strengthens the immune system. Practice for today. Before sleep, think of 3 people. One you love, one neutral, one you find difficult. For each, repeat silently. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. Just 5 minutes. But over time, it transforms the heart. The Buddha once said, "Hatred is never overcome by hatred. Hatred is only overcome by love." This is an eternal law. Imagine if we lived this way in our families, in our workplaces, in our world. That is the path of loving kindness. Section 4. The Art of Mindfulness. Satipatthana Sutta, MN 10. Have you ever caught yourself driving, walking, or eating and suddenly realized you weren't really there? Your body was present, but your mind was lost in thoughts of the past or worries about the future. This is why the Buddha taught mindfulness. In the Satipatthana Sutta, he called it the direct path to freedom. Mindfulness means remembering to be present, not escaping reality, but fully inhabiting it. He described 4 foundations of mindfulness. First, mindfulness of the body, noticing breathing, posture, movement, sensations. For example, while washing dishes, feel the warmth of the water, the movement of your hands. Second, mindfulness of feelings, not emotions exactly, but the tones of pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral that color each moment. Eating chocolate feels pleasant. Sitting in traffic feels unpleasant. Hearing birdsong, neutral, but turning pleasant. Third, mindfulness of the mind. Noticing whether the mind is calm or restless, joyful or heavy, focused or scattered. Fourth, mindfulness of dhammas or patterns. Seeing hindrances, aggregates, or even the Four Noble Truths at play in real time. What does this mean for us today? It means mindfulness is not just about sitting quietly with eyes closed. It's about being awake in ordinary life. At work, instead of scrolling emails while half thinking about dinner, pause and feel your breath. When your child speaks, put down the phone, look in their eyes, and truly listen. When stress arises, don't drown in it. Notice instead, stress feels like this: tight chest, fast heartbeat, racing thoughts. Practice for today. Try the 3-breath pause. At random moments, stop and take 3 conscious breaths. Notice the body, notice feelings, notice the state of mind. That's mindfulness in action. The Buddha compared mindfulness to a watchman at the city gate, attentive, alert, discerning who comes and goes. With mindfulness, you become the watchman of your own mind. You see clearly, you guard the heart, you let wholesome states enter, and allow unwholesome ones to pass away. This is the art of mindfulness. Section 5, Embracing Impermanence. Dhammapda 277 to 279, Mahaprinibana Sutta DN 16. Have you ever wished a beautiful moment could last forever? Or hoped that a painful moment would just disappear? That's the tension of life. We long for things to stay the same, but everything changes. The Buddha reminded his students of this again and again. Sabbe sankhara anika, he said, all conditioned things are impermanent. Look around, everything is shifting. The seasons change, our bodies age, our moods rise and fall, nations rise and collapse, relationships bloom and fade. Why is this teaching so important? Because much of our suffering comes from resisting change. We want youth to last forever. We want pleasure to stay. We want success never to end. But reality whispers, this too shall pass. Here's a reflection. Think of a joyful moment from your past. Maybe a wedding, a holiday, a celebration. Beautiful, wasn't it? But it ended. Now think of a painful moment. An illness, a heartbreak, a loss. Hard, wasn't it? But it too ended. Impermanence is not a curse. It is a blessing. It means pain never lasts forever. And it means joy is precious because it cannot stay. Practice for today. Each morning, when you wake, whisper to yourself, today is a gift. It will not come again. Notice how this makes you cherish small things. The warmth of tea, the laughter of a friend, the colors of the evening sky. The Buddha himself showed the power of impermanence in his final teaching. As he lay on his deathbed, he said to the monks, all conditioned things are subject to decay. Strive on with diligence. Those words were not sad. They were liberating. A reminder that the body passes, but truth endures. That the Dhamma is alive as long as we practice it. Impermanence teaches us humility because we are not in control. Gratitude, because we learn to cherish fleeting gifts, and urgency, because life is short, so let us use it wisely. When we embrace impermanence, every moment becomes precious. Every breath becomes a treasure. Section 6, The Power of Right Effort. Samavayama, SN 45.8. Mindfulness is powerful. But the Buddha also emphasized another quality, energy or effort. Without effort, the seed of wisdom will never sprout. In the Noble Eightfold Path, right effort is described in 4 steps. First, preventing unwholesome states from arising. Second, abandoning unwholesome states that have already arisen. Third, cultivating wholesome states not yet arisen. Fourth, sustaining wholesome states already present. It's like tending a garden. You prevent weeds from growing. If weeds appear, you pull them out. You plant new seeds of flowers, and you water the flowers already blooming. In modern life, this might look like noticing the temptation to scroll endlessly at night and choosing to put the phone down. If anger has already arisen in an argument, pausing, breathing, letting it dissolve. Deliberately cultivating kindness, maybe by sending a thoughtful message to a friend. Sustaining joy by practicing gratitude for what is already good. Practice for today. Each morning, ask yourself, what is one wholesome state I can water today? Maybe patience, maybe generosity, maybe calmness. Then choose one simple action to support it. The Buddha praised effort again and again. He said, just as a strong man might stretch out his arm, so quickly can one develop wholesome qualities if effort is applied. But effort is not strain. It is not forcing. It is steady, balanced, joyful perseverance. Like a river flowing, never frantic, but unstoppable. Right effort protects the mind like a shield. It clears the heart like a broom. It nourishes the spirit like sunlight. This is the power of right effort. Section 7. Walking the Noble Eightfold Path. Magga Vibhanga Sutta, SN 45.8. We now arrive at the very heart of the Buddha's teaching, the Noble Eightfold Path. This is not a list of rules. It is a living map of freedom. The path has 8 aspects, grouped into 3 trainings: wisdom, right view and right intention; ethical conduct, right speech, right action, and right livelihood; mental training, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Let's walk through them. Right view, seeing life as it really is, understanding impermanence, dissatisfaction, and non-self, seeing the 4 noble truths clearly. Right intention, living with thoughts of goodwill and harmlessness, turning away from craving, ill will, and cruelty. Right speech, words that are true, kind, and timely. Imagine if every conversation online followed this, how different social media would feel. Right action, living ethically, avoiding harm to life, to trust, and to relationships. Right livelihood, earning a living in ways that do not harm others. Today, this could mean choosing work that aligns with compassion and fairness. Right effort, which we just explored, the steady energy to purify and uplift the mind. Right mindfulness, being deeply present in body, feelings, mind, and dhammas. Right concentration, developing calm and focus through meditation. States of mind that lead to clarity and insight. The Eightfold Path is sometimes shown as a wheel, the Dhammacakka. Each spoke supports the others. Together, they roll the wheel of practice forward. What's beautiful is that the path is not linear. It's cyclical. We return again and again, deepening each step. Practice for today. At the end of the day, reflect. Which aspect of the Eightfold Path did I practice most today? Which one can I strengthen tomorrow? Closing reflections. We have walked a long journey together in this episode. From the Buddha story 2,500 years ago to mindfulness in today's living rooms. From the truth of suffering to the joy of compassion. We began with the question, what if wisdom that is 2,500 years old could solve today's problems? And we have seen it can. The Buddha did not give us dogma. He gave us a path that anyone, anywhere can walk. See clearly, live ethically, train the mind, open the heart. This is the essence of being a modern Buddha. Not someone who wears robes or renounces the world, but someone who practices wisdom and compassion. Right here, in the marketplace, in the workplace, in the home. Reflection for today. As you end this listening, ask yourself, what one insight from today can I carry into my next conversation, my next decision, my very next breath? The path is not about reaching a faraway goal. It is about each mindful step, and with each step, suffering lessens, peace grows, freedom blossoms. So may you walk gently, speak kindly, and live with clarity. May the teachings of the Buddha be a lamp for your path, and may you, too, become a light for the world.